false chord screams can go low. A lot of people don't know this, but fry screams can go lower. And even less people know this, but there's another scream that goes even lower than that. And in this video, I'm going to introduce you to what they are and how to do them. So first off, false chord screams happen when you flap parts of your throat called your vestibular folds, and that flapping sound is what creates that distortion. Fry screams happen when, instead of using your vestibular folds, you use what are called your true vocal cords, and you take them and you press them together and you get them to sputter together, and that's what creates that distortion. But if you use some other tissues called your arytenoids, you can actually get distortion out of that as well. And that's what we're using to do this scream. So I'm going to show you how to do this, but I want to warn you that this can be tricky. Everyone's got a different relationship with their voice. So if the following method doesn't work for you, don't worry. You can click the link below to get a free screaming training that goes deeper into unlocking your screams. And it'll also give you the option of booking a free consultation with me to get personal feedback on your screams. All this stuff is free. Just click the link in the description. Okay, so let's get into how to actually do an arytenoid scream. So the first thing I want you to do is to locate what your arytenoids are. And there's many different ways to do this, but one way to do this is to imitate Louis Armstrong, who sings What a Wonderful World, where he goes, "Skies are blue, red roses too." That right there. Skies are blue. So if you feel kind of a burpy sort of sound coming out, that's much lower in your throat compared to where your fry or your false chords are, if you know where those are, then these are the right tissues. So after we isolate these tissues, then we want to kind of make them flap in a broken up way, kind of similar to how we get our false chords to flap, where for false chords, we take these tissues and we kind of get them to flap in a broken up way. This is kind of how we want to, approach arytenoid distortions. We want to get that and we want to break it up. So in order to distort and kind of break up those tissues, we want to first get really good at being consistent with isolating these. And the reason why is because if we're not good at consistently isolating them, then it's very easy to kind of get ahead of ourselves and then, try and add distortion, try to break it up, but without realizing it, accidentally revert back to our false chords. And I see this happen all the time. So in order to break it up, we first want to just get it really consistent so that you can find that. And I would recommend trying to do different vowels. A, E, I, O, U. And even trying to say ABC. A, B, C. And you want to get it so that whenever you think, oh, I'm going to go for it, you just immediately get it. So the other thing too is that you want to make sure that you're not airy, like you want it to be very kind of crisp instead of because if you sound very airy at this stage with then that means that the airiness at this stage will follow you to the scream and make the actual end scream airy. So we want to make sure that is, pretty non-airy. Okay. Now that we've gotten that consistent, then we want you to distort it by flexing your stomach and then adding a little bit of a yell to put some power behind it. So add a little bit of a huh behind it. And so warning, I don't want you to yell at the top of your lungs while you're doing this, or else you're gonna hurt your voice. So maybe keep it above talking volume. So this will sound kind of like this. First you get your you isolate that, and then push from your stomach and add a bit of huh behind it, and it'll sound like this. So can you kind of hear? It's not sounding as clean anymore. It's starting to sound a little bit more broken up. Okay, so if you want to get a little bit more distortion behind it, then you can tighten your arytenoids together. So you can kind of feel where in your throat is responsible for creating that flapping arytenoid sound, and you can tighten that. And this way, there's less slack within your arytenoids, and the flapping of your arytenoids will happen a lot quicker. So that will take it from this to this. So yes, and as a bonus, if you want to get it even lower than what we talked about so far, we can make it sound more demonic. In order to get two separate screaming voices to come out of us at the same time, we want to cut the airflow of our scream in two separate paths using our tongue shape. So in order to do that, there's many different ways to do it, but one way is that we can put our tongue in a bridged forward position, with the tip of your tongue being placed behind our bottom teeth. And you can even start to hear that without me, even adding the arytenoid distortion behind it, you can kind of start to hear that I'm starting to get kind of that like dual tone. So if you take that, you combine that with the arytenoids, then you can kind of start to see how we can kind of get that demonic tone. So once again, if you need deeper help on how to do this or any of these other screams like fry and false chords, remember to check out that free video training that goes a little deeper and gives you the ability to reach out for personal help. All that's free. Just click the link in the description. The other thing that I'll say about arytenoid screams is that you can kind of like change the type of sound that you get by either being, like I said, if you want more distortion, you can be closed and tight. If you want more of a distorted yet burpy sound. And if you want more of sort of like a boomy sound, you can keep things open. You kind of have to push harder from your stomach to make that work though. Versus, I don't have to push that hard. Versus when I'm open, I have to push harder. Okay. I think another thing too is that if you're good at what's called lower place chest fries, you can actually combine that with arytenoids. So you can combine your lower place chest fry with, and you can get a, if you're a fan of cattle decapitation, they do that type of scream. So you can kind of experiment. There's lots of cool things that you can do with this scream. Okay. All right. So now you know the building blocks of how to go super low with this type of scream. What if you want to learn how to go super crazy high? Like, if that sounds like you, then check out this video right here. Click it, check it out, and I'll see you inside. All right. Peace.